It's Monday at 1 o'clock, and welcome to the broadcast of the Mary D. Welch Show.
All right. Hi, everybody. We're back again. This is a beautiful Monday, a beautiful week, and right upon Thanksgiving. Right upon Thanksgiving. So I want to make sure I tell all of you, hope you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And I want to tell you for those of you, because I don't want to forget, and I'm at the end of the show and forget to tell you that, but have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We have the wonderful, wonderful Dr. Brenda Stratton. She is an author. She's a writer. Let me tell you about this lady. Has traveled to over 35 countries. Can you believe that? One day I just asked her, I said, well, how many passports do you have, Dr. Stratton? And she started laughing. She said, I think it's either 6 or 7 passports. Now, I don't have that many. I'm working on my 5th one, but not my 6th or 7th one. So I can only imagine what her passport looks like. But this wonderful lady has come to talk with us today and share not only about her experiences, but all her books. And really, she is what's known as a meologist. And she'll tell you more about what that means. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Brenda Stratton. Dr. Brenda.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Oh, welcome, Dr. Brenda. I know many people, they may or may not know you. So what I'd like for you to do first is you introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, I'm Dr. Brenda Stratton. I'm known as a meologist. And I'm going to tell you a little about that. I have written 4 books, and they're #1 bestsellers on Amazon. The Lord Deliver Me From Me is my first book, and it's a master course, Transformational You. I also have Don't Repeat This Again, Toxic Relationship, and my newest one is Revolutionize My Life, which is now in a TV series on the Zonda TV network. I teach you how to revolutionize your life. I've had the experience to really coach over 2,000 plus people in over 35 countries and nations. I'm still a missionary, and I have done many varied things. But you want to know what that word meologist is?
I do want to know what is meologist. I've never heard that word, meologist.
Well, kind of made it up, but I'm trademarked, so I am trademarked a meologist.
Okay.
I say the only one in the world that's trademarked. And so I help people to get unstuck. You know, we are all just a whole makeup of all our experiences. And in this time in life, there is pain and things in our lives that have gotten us stuck.
Right.
And what has happened, we forgot about it because most of this pain has come about in childhood. So I help you to walk back through the pages of your life and find that pain, find the hurt, find the areas that are still holding you back, that you're stuck in.
Right.
So that you can move on.
Well, let me ask.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to ask you, okay, when you say meologists and people are stuck, when you say stuck, how are they stuck, Dr. Stratton?
They're stuck in pain. They're stuck in unforgiveness. They're stuck in rejection. They're stuck in toxic relationships. They're stuck in life. Many times people don't know that this is something that is hurting them.
Right.
We have pain in our life. The greatest ability that God has ever given us is the ability to forget. So we've forgotten our pain. We buried it, but we didn't deal with it. So it comes up at the most inopportune time, and it usually comes up stinking. And so we have to deal with that pain so that it will not continue. We will view life out of that pain. We will view life out of unforgiveness or rejection. That will always take us to see life clouded and not how God wants us to see it.
Well, let me ask, okay, so you're saying this is all of us have these issues. It's not just like 1 or 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
We have them. We don't know we're stuck. If we don't know we're stuck and we don't know what made us stuck, then how do we get unstuck?
That's when you need a meologist, or you need someone like me that will help you. We all have blind spots.
Right.
We all have things that we can't see about ourselves. You know, the parents said they had eyes in the back of their head, but they didn't. So we can't see those things. And
Right.
that's the thing that sometimes you need somebody to take your hand. Let me just tell you something, some examples.
Right.
There was a girl that she believed that she was to have a speaking ministry.
Okay.
And she would, every time she would get in front of a group, she would freeze. No matter how many Toastmaster classes she took, she would always freeze.
Right.
So we went back in her childhood to see where it was. We discovered that at age, when she was in the second grade, she had to give a speech. And she gave the speech, and her teacher humiliated her. And you know, kids can be very cruel, because I
Yes.
was a school teacher. And they laughed and taunted her and
Oh.
bullied her. And so she stopped, she wouldn't speak.
Right.
So after dealing with that, after finding the root cause of the pain, because we get to the root, then we can get rid of the fruit.
Oh,
And
got
the fruit
you.
of fear, the fruit of embarrassment and humiliation, the fruit of shame left her so she could stand up boldly and say, "This is who I am, and I'm coming to speak to you today."
Oh my good. So you helped her just go. I mean, little by little, she had to figure this situations in her life to find out.
No, we go immediately to the original source of the pain in that area. And so this is a transformational. Now she will work out the other areas, but once you get rid of that original pain, then you
Mhm.
build on replacing all the negative things that you felt.
Mhm.
Because usually you accumulated all kind of negativity around the pain. So when you get rid of that source,
Mhm.
original source, it has nothing to hold on to. And then you can get rid of the negativity associated with the pain.
It seems like that's big. It would.
It's good.
It's freeing. It's what it is. It's
Oh, yes.
people.
Everybody says, I said, "Well, how do you feel?" "I feel lighter."
Uh huh. Yes. I
So,
didn't.
but everybody needs this, because we don't know the things that are holding us back. Because remember,
Yes.
the ability to forget,
Yes.
and we bury it.
Right. I'm amazed because I'm just thinking of things in my own life. It's like, okay,
Book
where can we work these things?
book a session with me.
I know, I
Book
know
a
you're right
session.
about that. I think because I'm just thinking of situations that I have probably and didn't realize it, that I'm doing it to myself based on a situation in my life that I didn't even know existed. I didn't
Mhm.
even know it has affected me, traumatized me even. And so I can only imagine when people, like I said, like you said, they feel lighter. A lot of times it's just recognizing what it is.
Yes.
It's gotta
See,
be.
see, what
No.
happened to me is that how I started on this journey.
Mhm.
I was in a situation where they asked some questions. I was in missionary training, and they
Mhm.
asked these questions. How was your life between ages 9 and 12? Now,
Right.
I didn't think that would be a question that would affect him. I started crying and couldn't stop. I
Oh my
started boo-hooing.
goodness.
It wasn't just little crying, it was boo-hoo crying. It was ugly crying. So
Oh.
I didn't know that there was still pain. I knew there were difficult things between me and my father. And
Mhm.
that started me on a spiritual trek, on a trek to learn. And God began to tell me, in your mother's womb, you received the spirit of rejection. Nobody told me that he did. So then I said, "Well,
Oh.
I never heard of that."
Me
And
either.
so I began to talk to my mother. Now, nothing against her. She's gone on to be to glory, and she was my biggest encourager. So, but she said she couldn't believe she was pregnant. She didn't want another child. She just couldn't believe it. She went to two
Oh.
doctors in the same day. And see,
Oh,
when the child is in the womb, the child experiences the emotions of the mother. And I know that from teaching special ed children when we were taught medical classes, watered down medical classes, how everything that affects the mother affects the
it's a
child.
child. Yeah.
So that's where God began to take me on a journey to heal me. And because I've learned so much and was freed of so much, my
Mhm.
mess became my message. And so
Oh,
I am on a passionate
right.
quest to see people set free.
When you went through, okay, when they said that between ages of 9 and 12, and you literally got hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
You have to calm yourself down to come to terms with what was it that sent you to that place.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you work through your situation.
That's how I began the trek. I began asking God, and God began to send me places to get some help. And He began to teach me, and I began to get into. I would go all around the world to learn as a student what I could do to free myself. And I learned a lot of. In the day we call that, I call it transformational coaching, because you go
Mhm.
from the cocoon, a caterpillar, to a
Mhm.
butterfly. Sometimes we call it inner healing, but it is because it's healing you from the inside out. That's what most people we think about building our outside,
Right,
going and doing and dieting and building our minds. But
right,
there is our attitude, our spirit, our heart.
right.
We forget about that. And that's where life comes from. If we don't
And
heal the heart, we can't
mhm,
heal the mind.
you know, really what you're saying, these are the things you don't see. Because
Mhm.
remember, the things you do see, we can make all that look pretty, all of those things. But the things you don't see that are inside, that you,
Mhm.
that's what's really at the root of what's going on with you. That's
Mhm.
really what you have to do that, and they call it deep dive into
Mhm.
what's going on with you. So I would really, it sounds like you said, being a meologist, because that wasn't, you didn't start because you were Dr. Brenda Stratton before you became a meologist, correct?
Mhm. Yes.
And so you've grown into the meologist.
Mhm. But I've done this all my life. As
Okay.
soon as I've done this. I've done this in different countries. Being a missionary, that's part of what I've done. As
Uh-huh.
soon as I got healed, and then I just, put the name meologist, but it's
Hmm.
transformational coaching and healing. I
Right.
go all over the world and do this in every
Oh
country
my
and
goodness.
nation, even with interpreters,
Hmm.
because everybody has pain. That's common to man,
That's right. Yeah.
pain and hurt and
Right.
rejection.
Right.
Everybody has that.
Hmm. I think it's, I don't know, we know we have it, but isn't it how you deal with it? It's what,
Yes,
that's the turning point. That's
that's
how
the
you,
turning point.
and I've been through it too. I've been through the pain, the hurt, rejection, depression, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember some turning points when in my life where I just said, hearing from the Lord and saying, "Act- treat your life. You have a life to live. It's up to you. You can't. It's not outside of you. It's what do you want with your life? Basically, that's what. And I really at that time didn't even know what that was, and it
Mm-hmm.
worked itself out. I think. But the truth of the matter is, I've learned this. I'm sure you have too. It was always in you.
Mm-hmm.
Your meologist was always in you. You
Mm-hmm.
just gave it a name. You
Yeah.
gave it a place to be called. But
Mm-hmm.
who you are was always there. It was always a part of you. It was, and it's always will be.
Yeah.
And your books, the transformations that you present for other people, that's already there too. I think sometimes people think we are looking for something else that's outside of us. But as you know, it was already in at birth, it was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that was
even
fabulous.
as believers, it's given even before the foundation of the world. He gave us a destiny, a
That's right.
purpose, a
That's
place
right.
to go to and
Yes.
Him. And He designed our life because He knows better how to
Yes.
run our life. And so, yes, He says that He's given us everything that we ever need for life and godliness. So yes, it's in.
Well, I can tell you, I have known you over a year now, about a year and a half, I think. And every single time I've ever spoken to you, it's always been positive. It's always been uplifting. It's always been encouraging every single time. So you really embody the meologist. You really, that's why I said that's who you are. That's who you are. And I tell you, you have helped so many people all around the world. I know it's 35 countries, but how many people have you helped in those 35 countries?
Oh, it's way over 2,000 plus. I can't even count it now. And when I'm saying 2,000 plus, this is like in private sessions. When I was in South Africa, I did 10 sessions a day with people. That was hard, one right after another, right after another. You know, but to see the joy of people. I want to tell you this story.
Okay.
I'm going to show you my newest book.
No, I haven't forgot.
I'm going to show you one lady. I just want to talk about the power of forgiveness, because sometimes we are holding, and in this day and age,
yes,
we really need to learn how to forgive. We have to forgive people who are different from us, forgive people of different political persuasions, everything. There was a lady, she was about 65 years old, and she said that she was in the session, and she said, I've never heard my father say that he loved me at one time. And so what she did, we just forgave her father, we released him, and after that session, she was free. And we were waiting for her husband, because everybody has their individual sessions, to get free so he could get his session. Her phone rang, and it was her father. And he said, I just want to tell you I love you.
Oh my gosh.
That was phenomenal.
And he didn't know anything about the session?
No, nothing. See, that's the power when you release. When you release pain, something can happen. Things are happening. I had another lady, I know she won't mind me telling this, but I don't tell anybody's name. She had pain there with her sister. Her sister had passed, but she had pain there. And she released her sister. And she had been asking her nieces, her sister's family, if she could have a picture of her sister. That was for 4 years. In 3 weeks, or in 2 weeks, she got a picture of her sister. They didn't know nothing about the session. The power of releasing. And forgiveness. That's the main thing that everybody has to learn in this life, because we're going to always have to forgive. People going to do things to us on purpose and just being mean, and people will do things because they don't know any better and because of their hurt. So we have to learn how to forgive. And it brings power to you, the one who forgives.
Right. It's just powerful. I know that when those sessions happened, when the lady received the call and it was the father.
Yes.
Crying from that. I can't imagine.
She was just so it was so powerful. We couldn't believe it.
That's
and
what I'm
saying. Rejoiced. We rejoiced. She was just overjoyed the fact that her father would call her. I said,
out of the blue.
Yes, God wanted to show her how real this forgiveness was. What she did was not just mouths of words, but she released out of her heart. See, if you just say it out of your heart, God will bring that thing together for you.
Woo, that is powerful.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story that I usually tell about unforgiveness. In Romans' time, Romans were very kind of cruel with their punishment. And this is the time during Bible time. So if you killed anyone, what your punishment was that they would tie that dead corpse to your body. and you would carry that dead corpse around to you, to the poison sinked into you, and you die. That's how unforgiveness looks. You carrying a dead corpse around. You focusing your attention on somebody else that you're mad at them and won't release them, and you're dying inside.
Whoa. Well, you know that I've heard this saying, you probably have too, that unforgiveness is like you're taking the poison and you hoping somebody else die.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. It's like that's not how it works. And really, this is what unforgiveness is really for you. It's not for them.
That's right.
We think it's for the other person. I know, you know, that situation, unfortunately, the young man was killed in Florida, and the brother was, and he, at the trial, the brother forgave the officer.
Oh, yes, yes.
When I remember talking to people about that. I said, this is what you guys, they thought it was for her. And I said, you don't understand. He was saying it so he could keep going with his life.
Yes. Yeah.
Him that he you know, he forgave her, because he would have been holding all that, and it, like you said, poison in his heart, and he would have been carrying all this around, and he knew this was the only chance he'd have to do this with this lady, and he forgave her so he could go on with his life. Now she's going to go with her life too, but the truth of the matter is it could have eaten away at him.
Yes.
And he was forgiving, but I don't think we look at it like that. People carry it around. I've heard of situations they've had to go to the graveyard to forgive people. They have done. You don't have to go that far, but I'm just saying. They've done that because they've been holding stuff, and the person is gone. But they just said, "I've got to release this burden."
That's right.
But I just think, I mean, that's big. I know some situations now that I need to probably look into.
Well, when I did my show, Revolutionize My Life, just gonna show my thing here.
Please do.
Yeah, this is the latest book, but I wrote this based on my TV shows, Revolutionize My Life.
Right.
And in this, you know, you can get change. You need to revolutionize your life. You need to change your thought patterns and the things that are going on so that you can become free. One of the ladies, like I said, I had different people I interviewed. So on the show, she forgave somebody that she was holding a grudge for 30 years.
Wow.
Just right on the show. And so this is what we want to do in life. We want to be free. I have done a lot of things. I have a meology community on Facebook. So on that community, and in that community, I encourage people to release things from their lives. During this COVID time, I encourage people, work on yourself.
Right.
So that you can life will make you bitter or better. It is your choice.
Right.
So we need to work on ourselves to get rid of anything that will hinder our destiny and our future.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like you said, the bitter or better, what you're really saying, though, it's your choice. It's always a choice. You can choose to be bitter, or you can choose to be better. But I don't think you can be better if you're holding unforgiveness against someone. If you're not forgiving, you can't get there until you let it go. You have to let it go. You have to, and do it from, I think, unforgiveness, I think when you're letting it go, it's out of love.
Yes.
Of love. That's why I think when that young lady let it go, that love of, not that she didn't love her father, but the love went out. I always say it goes out in the universe.
It did.
And then next thing you know, it affected him. For him to pick up the phone, think about all this happened simultaneously.
Yes.
Left her, it went into him, and he picks up the phone and calls her and says, I need to tell you I love you. And this all happens within an hour.
Yes.
In her whole life, she never heard that.
She never heard that.
That's big.
That's big.
It is big. And so is the other lady that heard it. I just think that it's just wonderful what you do, Dr. Stratton. I think it is revolutionary. revolutionize your life. Please hold that book cover up again. So now, where can people purchase that book?
Okay, now this one needs to be purchased on Amazon. It's an ebook. Just now, it's an ebook, but I will bring this out in a paperback probably by the end of the year. And it's 6 steps to revolutionizing your life. My book, I have a book, Lord Deliver Me from Me. How to Stop Becoming Your Own Worst Enemy. You can get an autographed copy of that on my website. And Transformational You. You can get an autographed copy of that on the website. So, and I don't repeat that again. You can get that. That's both in paperback and in ebooks. All of them are in ebooks and paperback. So you can go to Amazon, look up Dr. Brenda Stratton, and buy those books. If you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website. If you want to book a session, just a 15-minute session with me,
Okay.
you can you go to my website. You can gather more information, and if you write me, then you can I'll send you to my booking session page,
Okay.
which is you can do it to work with Dr. Brenda Stratton. It's a longer list. HTTP, colon, double slash Bentley, the Bentley link / Dr. Brenda Stratton / booking. But you don't have to worry about all of that. Just go to drbrendaStratton.com or
Okay.
order your book on Amazon.
So they can, if they go to drbrendaStratton.com, can they get everything about you there?
They can get most everything. The newest book is not on there just yet, but they always, there's a place to send something to me, a note. There's some free things that you could download, such as a toxic relationship inventory. There is rejection inventory, and they can fill those out, and they can send that to me, and I'll respond back. Or they can fill out to get a free gift.
All right. Now, on your session, the first, like you said, the 15 minutes, is there a cost to that session, or is that a free session?
That's a free session, but there is a cost to the transformational session, and that's like a 50-minute call.
I'm sorry, how many minutes?
About a 65 minutes to 70-minute call.
Oh, okay.
And that's the cost.
There's a cost with that session. Okay. And they can find out all of this if you go to drbrendaStratton.com.
Yes.
And the reason I want to make sure we put that in there, because I want to make sure anyone that's interested, because you're talking about literally changing people's lives. This is not something that is a small feat, because as you mentioned, there was a lady carrying around a burden for 30 years.
Yes.
30 years and carrying around unforgiveness. And I can pretty much guess, this is what I always say, if she's carrying around for 30 years, there's somebody else carrying something around.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we want to do is release them from this. And you're saying you do have some things on your site that can help people, but if you really want to do a deep dive and get to the root of what's really going on, then they need to not just have the laser session, but the longer session with you. And that's 60 to 80 minutes.
I have courses. I have a mastermind course for Lord Deliver Me from Me, which includes a transformational session. So that's available too.
And that's all at drbrendaStratton.com.
Yeah, they can just click on it, and then they can go around and find out how to get the things they need.
Okay. I also want to encourage people too. I know we haven't really talked to you about your missionary work, because in addition to that, because you're also a minister, correct?
Yes.
The ministry. Your missionary work is taking you, in my opinion, around the world. I mean, as many countries as you have. I can only imagine the things that you've seen. I've been to a few countries, but not anywhere near where you maybe 10%. Maybe that. Maybe.
Okay.
But not 35. No.
Yes. So. Well, I've gone to many. I do a lot in Ghana. In Ghana, I help a missionary. She started to be a missionary when she's 50 years old. So I help her with her schools, and there we put a computer lab in the rural village. We had to put electricity first
Okay.
in there to ever do the computer lab, and so that was real exciting because the class, their scores went up as we put that lab in. We've gone back to give them school supplies and things. We're still
Right.
working, but now it's harder to get there
Mm-hmm.
because of just COVID right now. But things
Oh,
are
okay.
still going forth.
Okay. Now, so is this a nonprofit or?
It's a nonprofit. This is my nonprofit, and
Okay.
that's Message to the Nation. So they can go
Mm-hmm.
to messagetothenation.com, and
Okay.
anytime they want to give a donation, we appreciate it.
Now, I guess what I was saying, can they also get Message to the Nation if they go to Dr. Brenda Stratton? Is there a
No, that's a separate one.
okay?
Messagetothenation.com is a separate,
Okay.
separate from Dr. Brenda Stratton.
So you have a school in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other? Because I know 35 countries. I'm sure there's other.
Well, when I go to different countries, like I said, we do different projects. I helped put a water filter in India. We taught classes in Bible college in some of the countries. We've done a lot of transformational coaching, and some speaking in churches, speaking in conferences, and things like that. And
Okay. Well,
just doing street ministry, hospital ministry, all of those kinds of ministry.
oh my goodness. I'm going to have you repeat that on the. So I'm getting a text and someone's asking, can you please name your nonprofit again, please, and put the name of the website.
Okay, it's a message to the nations with an S
Mm-hmm.
.com.
Okay. To the nations. Got it. Because I get calls after the broadcast also, and I want to be able to refer that to people because anytime, like you said, you're looking for donations, and this it's the focus is on the school in Ghana. Is that the focus?
The focus is on the schools, but the focus is on other places as we feel led to go. We've gone a lot to Mexico. We've gone to India. We've gone to all kind of countries. We've gone to in South America, Argentina. We've gone to many places, but I do a lot of focus in Ghana. In fact, I take teams. Right now, I can't take you, but I take teams. I take people to
Okay.
experience that missionary for us because it changes your life. Even if you're not called. One of the things I did as an African American, I
Mm-hmm.
was the first in a lot of places. So one of the things that I do is I expose African Americans, especially, to the field of mission.
Right.
So I've taken groups all over the world to different places. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just been a joy. Some people have felt that's what God was going to have them do. Others
Right.
felt that God was the first missionary. So we have a responsibility to do
Mm-hmm.
something in mission. And one of the things I like to share with, especially African Americans, that the first
Uh-huh.
missionary from America was a Black man. He sold
Okay.
himself as an indentured servant and went behind British lines to go to Jamaica to found many churches there. So we
Okay.
have a heritage and mission, and so
Uh-huh.
we need to do both. Home mission right now is a lot of home mission, and that's so important too. But the gospel needs to be preached to all the world, and then the
Right.
end will come. That's what Scripture says in Matthew
Okay.
25.
Well, I can tell you, it is definitely, I say, a calling. My mom was in the ministry, and she would tell me, she goes, Mary, you've been called to the ministry. I said, Mom, I haven't heard that calling. You keep saying, she, and I said, and she said, but you told me this too. She said, but you'll know it when you hear it. She said, it's not what you think. It's not like, it's an umption. And she said, you've been helping people your whole life, so you don't really look at it as a calling. You just, or who you are, basically. And so I just, but I have been to Ghana. I can tell you that. I've been to West Africa, and it's been years ago, but that experience, no doubt, has definitely changed my life.
Oh, yes.
Just, and I've only been one time, and that, and I've been able to go, like I said, a few other places, but I do want to one day go back. And so when we get I guess it's a vaccine or whatever, like it's going to open up again. I'll say that.
Yes, yes.
It'll change. It's just that right now, but sometimes I think we do need to slow down. This time is giving us a reset for society to slow down and reflect and do some things that we probably need to do anyway.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is the loss of life. Unfortunately, we experience that is what the tragedy of all this is the loss of life. But I would encourage you when you do. Is there now for that trip? Would they go to drbrendaStratton.com to find out more about that?
They will go to Message to the Nation if they're interested.
Okay. If they're interested in going on a missionary. Okay, that's good to know. And if anyone were to come to me and ask me about a missionary trip, I can refer them to you and say, I know the perfect missionary that can. If you're interested in going now, is it only, you said it's not just West, it's not just Ghana. You do go to South America and other countries too.
Yes, I've gone to other countries, but right now one of the focus that we have is the school, because the school is she built it from preschool to middle school. So now she's working on finishing it to high school.
Okay. Do you need any books or I'm sorry, do you need it? Would that be something people could send or no?
Sending is so difficult. The best that they could do is do a donation, because what we do is we take the stuff. So they need always school supplies. Last time we were able, through this organization called Dress a Girl Around the World, we dressed every girl in the school that was over with new dresses.
I love it. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, with Brenda.
Imagine how the kids felt.
That school is housed about 400.
Ooh, okay. Now, do the kids live on at the school?
No, they don't live. It's all in it. The school is in a mud hut village.
Oh, God.
The school is in a mud hut village. They do not have electricity unless they put it out. They don't have indoor plumbing. It's in a mud hut village. When I say I had to put electricity, I had to put the poles there was some electricity out in the street so we could bring it there, so we could bring it to school. The children stayed to watch us put fans up and the lights up. Most of the schools in Africa do not have electricity.
Right.
They don't have electricity. And so they to see a fan, they had never seen a fan.
I know I stayed mostly in like Accra or Kumasi
those are the big cities.
Right. And so I know, that's why I'm saying, I know we went in the country. Yeah.
When some of the natives say that we don't go out in the country like that. It's in the country in a mud hut village.
No, I know exactly when you said that. We did go, but we never, like, I remember when I was there, I wouldn't do it now, but it was like 11 o'clock at night. The villagers wanted us to come and see where they lived. And so we had to walk about, I'm going to say like 2, maybe 3 miles. So we were in the city, but that was to go out in the country. And they take us at night, but we could walk with them at night. Because they, it's just like when you're walking out. And I remember thinking, what are you doing? I was like, but at night, I was 19, 20 years old and fearless.
Yeah.
I was fearless. So I didn't even worry about that. Now, as I said before, I wouldn't do that today, but at the time, and the kindness people showed me, the love people showed me was so, they didn't even know me. They didn't know me, but it was just, we want you to see how we live. We want you. And they shared a meal with me. They made fufu.
Oh yeah, I know fufu.
I remember fufu. I remember palm wine. I remember. See, it has
Yeah, I
me.
like the African too. Now I'm not into the fufu too much, but where we live, um, they made fufu every night.
Every day. I'm telling you, because
Every night, the
it's
native,
Philly.
the pastor and his wife made the fufu every night. So,
Every night
mhm.
with a baked fish, and it was like a gravy that had
Well, they gave you good because sometimes they don't always have a protein, a meat.
yeah, yes, and they said they had fixed a meal for me. I was the only one that would go out of our group. Nobody else would go.
Hmm.
Begging us, they told them, they said they had fixed a meal for us and everything, and they did. And then they danced for me and sang for me. It was like my own private ceremony.
Yeah, they love dancing. Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I
it was,
I when you go, especially as an African American, let me turn this light on. It's getting dark here. I'm sorry.
that's okay. That's all right.
So it can get a little brighter.
Okay.
Uh, they love to dance. They love to, and discovered I love drums, and I discovered where I got that from. I love that
Uh-huh.
music, the dancing, the drums. They have their own style. It's so beautiful.
Oh, now I'm gonna tell you. This is someone who doesn't sing, but I'm gonna sing this song only because it's the only thing I remember from Africa, and it's called the Sasa song, and I sing it even to this day to my children and grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it like one. It's called Sasa Koma Ine O Chiche Okoma Ochoke Juma Ine O Chiche Okoma Sasa Koma Ine O Chiche Okoma Ochoke Juma Ine O Chiche Okoma Wachiche Wachiche Wanacha Wanacha Ochoke Juma Ine O Neche Wo Sasa Koma Ine O Chiche Okoma Ochoke Juma Ine O Chiche Okoma. That is from 30 years ago.
Oh wow, you're doing
Remember
good.
that song. It
You're
is still
doing good.
it's in my heart. They taught it to me. I sang it in front of the congregation. I've never forgotten it.
Oh, that's good. And they love us to sing. Some of us, I have a lot of videos of us singing. We learn a song and we sing it, and they love it.
I know because you're showing an they just said they wanted us to share a song. So we taught a song to a group, and then they taught us that song, which
Mhm.
I sing to my children, my grandchildren, and they love it. They're like, Mom, that's our family song. Is that now? Don't ask me what it means. I can't tell you,
Okay, all right. Well,
but it sounds good. It's like
yes.
sound of it, and it's a different language, but they all know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Okay,
all know
that's
it.
wonderful. That's
It's
wonderful.
the Sasa song. But I like to tell you, I'm looking at. I want to make sure I don't go over our time. I know you have a lot going on, Doctor. You have a ton of going on, Doctor Stratton. But you work with nonprofits. You work with individuals, and
Mhm.
who else do you work with?
Well, I would work with churches. I was a associate pastor for 12 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so I work with churches
Mm,
and pastors and do conferences, and so I do a lot.
I know. Always
And
busy.
I also, as you are, a publisher and an editor.
Yes. Yes.
So I, help people to write their first books to help them to accomplish that goal. And so I have students to do that. One of my students just got her book up to number one, and so I
Oh
do
my
that
goodness.
also.
I think it's not an accomplishment when you see
Yeah.
that banner and it says number one.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you. This is what I did. Well, I just kept staring at it like, you know what it was. I think it was the reality of that's your book.
Yeah.
Those are your words.
Mm-hmm.
People are
Mm-hmm.
buying it, and it is such. It's just unbelievable. I would
Yeah.
So we'll say anyone here that's listening, if you have an idea, a thought about writing a book, the number one thing you'll always hear me say, write it.
Yes, yes. That's
Don't let
right.
it. Yeah. I
Mhm.
have people that tell me, I have all these ideas running around in my head. You know what I tell them? You have no ideas because it's not written on a piece of paper. You got to write it down, people.
And yeah, and you have to just start.
That's right.
You just start writing, just write anything, write your thoughts, and they will come together. It is not as hard as we make it. I remember when I was working on my master's, instead of writing, you know, a thesis, we had to take comps, and that was 3 days of nonstop testing. So we had some were essays. We just had to get our mind in gear to start that process. You might have to say 7 years ago or whatever it was, just to get that process going. But it's very important that people write out, especially their own story. Write it out.
Right. I think this is what my kind of slogan is: the hardest part is to start.
Yes,
If
yes,
you would just start, ladies and gentlemen, you're talking to two authors. I'm telling you, Dr. Stratton's books are number one on Amazon.
yes.
I've been blessed. My books are number one on Amazon. And the only difference between us and you is we started.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. We started writing, and we didn't know our books would be number one. I can tell you, I didn't. I had no clue. I did not know it would be. But I started. And if you just start, just start. Some of you, I know, I'm talking to the audience, like some
Yeah.
of you really good ideas. I mean, fabulous ideas, but you don't write them down.
Mm-hmm.
Really hate when I hear this comment that the richest place on earth is the graveyard. I
Mm-hmm.
hate because it should never be that way. And
That's
that's
right.
because the ideas go with people.
Yeah,
They think they have time. Am I right, Dr. Stratton?
that's right. That's right.
We don't know how much time we have, ladies and gentlemen. And but one thing I will say, I've been blessed. Right now, if I never wrote another book, the ones I have are done. That's
Yeah,
a blessing. If I never published another book, they're done. But some people, like I said, some people have excellent stories, excellent books. Maybe you have a movie in you. It could be anything. I don't know.
yes, yes,
You got to write it down, ladies and gentlemen. You
yeah.
got yeah. If you're interested in getting it published, contact myself or contact Dr. Stratton, either one of us. Contact somebody, do something.
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
So
I
I,
was in a workshop and they said, make a circle and say, get around to it and write the thing you need to get around to it. So I wrote my book, and that day I came home and started.
I like that. You
Mm,
know what though? Like I said, I always say for me, I write one. I'll just say this every day. I try to write one word. Now, do I always write one word? No, but I try to do something that moves me closer to that
yeah,
something, whether it's a project or a book or whatever. But I don't have to do anything big. But
that's right.
I'm moving the needle.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling what you said was so true. We make it harder than what it really is. We
Yes.
we think, excuse me, most people do not sit, let me say this to the audience, most people do not sit down and write the book in one sitting. No, that's not how I read books.
Mm.
It takes time, it takes editing, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't do those things because it doesn't. You get there. So when you first started, were you surprised when you finished your first book, Dr. Stratton?
Well, my first book I was going to write a manual because of what I used to have a team of 50 people that I would work with and teach them how to do the transformational coaching. So
Okay.
I had a manual and I was going to write it out specifically. And I was driving home and I heard the Lord say, "Don't write a manual, write this book. Lord, deliver me how to stop becoming your own worst enemy.
Woo.
And this will help people."
Mhm.
Because what you do in the transformational coach, you want to give them something more to continue on.
That's
So, and you know what? It was really good because let me tell you how I wrote my book.
okay.
I got the dragon. Remember the dragon dictation? They used to always advertise that. And I started dictating my book
Okay.
on the dragon that I was just speaking in it. And then
Oh,
what happened was I had, because of the nonprofit, I had interns who would come and work with me. And one girl came, she was a journalist. And so God says, I sent you some help, now use her. So she would take that and she would transcribe what I said. And
wow.
that's where I learned, you know, you have a speaking voice and you have a writing voice. And my speaking voice was more down to earth than my writing. Because
Right.
today I came and I said, oh, I don't feel like speaking nothing. I'm going to write this. And she
Uh-huh.
came in and she was transcribing. She said, you wrote this. I said, how did you tell? Because you're a teacher and you're
Mhm.
more formal in your writing than you
Yes.
are in your speaking.
Yes. Oh yeah, because we're speaking and normally that's our everyday language.
Yes.
When
Yes.
you're writing and you know someone else is going to be reading it, we have a whole nother language.
Yes. So
I
that's how
understand.
people can do. If you can start speaking it in your phone. We got all these fabulous phones now that do everything. You
Yeah,
can speak that in your phone, then transcribe it.
I know. But what did you say? We make it harder than what it is.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
true. I tell you. Well, I can tell you, Dr. Stratton, we are just so honored to have you here with us. I cannot just really express to you how I am to have you spend some time with us today and come by. And I'm going to make sure we're going to put Dr. Brenda Stratton across the bottom again and make sure we there. See, magically, how it
Yeah.
magically appears, and tell everyone. Go to this wonderful lady's website, ladies and gentlemen. You definitely want to. You got all the freebies there. Think about that. She has all this free information, but I would encourage you to don't just take the free information and don't support the lady. All of us are out here, but we're giving a lot. But we also this is how we make our living too. So don't also use her services. That she is a meologist. Her background is varied, it is extensive. This lady is, I mean, as they say, she is the bomb.com. You want to make sure you support her. She also has a Facebook group. If
Mhm.
you're
Meology community, that's free to join. And
free to join.
in there, it's I give you points. I come on and share. I'm doing a 30-day challenge of being kind. I want you
Oh,
to think
okay.
about being kind, the ways you can be kind, give suggestions of how to be kind. Tell us what you've done to be kind.
Oh, I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. So if those of you that would like to join her Facebook group, don't hesitate. You can join the Facebook group. I don't even think I put my contact information. But what I will do is I'll give you my email. So those of you that are interested and you like to contact me, I didn't get a chance to go into all that. But I'd like to thank you, Dr. Stratton, for there it is. See, thank you, Brian. Brian put that up for me. It's Mary at firstbookacademy.com. If those of you would like to contact me or send me an email, or you can go to my website. Thank you, Brian. It's not, I'm telling you, it's wonderful to have a producer. If it wasn't for Brian, I wouldn't be on here talking. Brian's taking good care of me. He's and many of you know, with Black Friday coming, I don't know if you have any Black Friday specials going, Dr. Stratton, for your books or for your programs or anything like that.
Well, right now I've had COVID specials the whole year. So the
Okay.
prices are not what they are. And just if you're interested, just reach out to me and we can talk. But the prices have been very low on the things that I have, the classes that I have, even the transformational coaching, because I understand that during this time, people may have some challenges. But in 2021, things change. So
Oh,
they ascend.
so in other words, this is a good time to come
This is
to.
a good time. This is a
All
good
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you want to take advantage of that because as it looks like now, there's going to be a vaccine coming, whether you choose to take it or not. That's up to you. But things are going to change in 2021. I think 2020, no one will forget 2020.
No, they won't.
We will be talking about 2020 for, the next 20, 30, 40 years, because that's how impactful 2020 has been.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure what you're saying is the prices are going to change on everything in 2021 also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good time. This is powerful information, ladies and gentlemen, that if it's not, and you may say, well, you don't know where in your life you may need this, but maybe it's not you. Maybe it's a family member.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? Maybe it's a spouse, a loved one, someone that you know that they are stuck. They haven't been able to move their life in a direction that is positive and in an upward motion that they feel like they need to be in. This lady is a person that can help you get there, to get you unstuck, to move you in a positive direction. And if you are interested in the ministry, if you like to go, and this will change, as I said before, she's saying to go to West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would even say Cape Coast, but I'll say West Africa.
Yes, the Cape Coast, we always do that.
I know, I've been there too. I love that. But that's another story. Don't get me started. So you get a chance to, if you would like to be a missionary, you go with a missionary trip. The places they're going to take you are breathtaking. Mm-hmm. There is no way to put it in words what it is. When we landed in Africa, to see people literally kiss the ground, welcome home. So I would encourage anyone who's never been to Africa, I suggest you go at least once in your lifetime.
I encourage people to go all the time. And so I would give people a pleasant experience before they get to the bush area. But we have bathrooms in the bush area, where we stay.
Good.
But I always give people a pleasant experience so they get a chance to enjoy, and of course, always go to the slave castles, because that's a real historical thing to see and experience. You have an experience when you go.
That's why I didn't want to go into that, but that's when we talk about the Cape Coast, that's where you're going to be going to the slave castles. When we went there, the experience was so, I don't even know what this, people literally, they had to carry people out. They had to physically carry people out. It was so emotional. And so I would tell people, it is just, is to know that someone in my lineage survived this. Is what you're really seeing, is that, you're coming back to somebody that had actually made it through this. And it looks like it's impossible to have survived it. And they did. So that's just one of the things. Like I said, I'm still just talking about it's affecting me. Think about how this was literally 30 years ago when I went. And I still remember it. That's how it is still a part of me. So I can only imagine your trips. But I do want to thank you. Thank you for your time today. We really do appreciate you coming on the show. And will you come back again?
Yes, I'll come back. I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you. And we're going to talk to the audience really quickly here. So audience, as always, I can't thank you enough for being here today. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a Mary D. Welch show. You make Mary D. Welch show the show that it is. So those of you, if you're interested, so I've had people inquire, like, how do you become a guest on the show? Send me an email, Mary at firstbookacademy.com. Send me an email. Those of you that may be interested in being a guest on the show, and I can tell you just what you need to do in order to be a guest. So send me the email, Mary at firstbookacademy.com. And I just wanted to make sure I give you a chance to do that for those of you that are interested. The bookings have been just going through the roof with people saying, I want to be on the show, that kind of thing. So you need to, if you're interested, let me know. And then send that and I'll let you know. Somebody is either myself or somebody from our team. We've been blessed to have other people come on. Oh, I have Brian on as a producer. You don't see them, but they're there behind the scenes. And other people have come forth and said, you know what can I do to help you with the show? And it's been just phenomenal. The people that have just said they want to be attached to it. So I'd like to thank you for your time. God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye, everyone.